Let's go to the next slide so that we complete, we allow questions. We look into the second point, foreign languages in school. It is, I may say it is only in Africa where the local language is banned at all. It said no local languages here. We only speak English or we only speak French. So schools in Africa use European languages for instruction, such as English, French, Portuguese, or Spanish. They don't use their own languages. And if they have to learn a local language, that language is just taught by its own, like Swahili being taught in Kenya. It's just a subject. In Tanzania, they teach Swahili, all the subject in Swahili, in primary school up to grade 7 or year 7. When you finish year 7, you go to secondary. All subjects start being taught in English. No wonder many Tanzanians perform poorly in their Form 4 and Form 6 examinations. It's not because they don't know the material, but the material has just changed abruptly from one language to another. Mathematics in primary school is taught as hisabati in Swahili. Everything, multiplication, addition, subtraction, everything is taught, and those X and whatever, triangles, they are all in Swahili, purely in Swahili. But when they go in Form 1, everything in mathematics starts in English. So the student is seeing new things, the same shapes with new names. So guess what?
My God.
Yeah, the teacher in Form 1 in Tanzania, the teachers will spend their time writing English on the blackboard and explaining the material in Swahili. Otherwise, no one is going to understand, because English was just taught in primary as a subject, but in secondary, every subject is now in English. Your innovation is down. That's why you see someone has graduated from Form 6 in Tanzania, but they can't speak English for 1 hour. They are much embedded, their roots are in Swahili. But the government has just rejected Swahili at the secondary level and begin to teach something else. When they graduate from secondary, they go to university, they still have that root, Swahili root. You find a graduate with a master's degree, but whatever content they know, they can explain it well in Swahili other than in English. Why? They have a root in Swahili. And then when they go for competition or selection in the Eastern region, Kenyans will be selected more, because Kenyans now, they can speak Swahili and they also speak English quickly, because they started English in the curriculum from primary. For the Kenyans, they think it's an advantage, but many of them have no innovation other than just speaking. These Tanzanians who are poorly speaking in English, they have innovation because they understand this concept from the language they speak daily. So the foreign languages in school impoverished our way of understanding. So this fact of teaching foreign languages in school is an extension to the colonial legacy. Someone may challenge me, say, but Majaliwa, you are speaking in English. Yeah, we are all in that basket. We are victims of the same school curriculum we are trying to discuss now. So children spend most of the school hours learning a language that is not spoken in the home. Guess what? It takes more time to understand. My children, 3 of them have been born here, but they speak Swahili. Why they speak Swahili? Because Swahili is being spoken at home. When they go to school, they learn English. When they come, now they are in dilemma. Some of them will begin to speak in English in the house. And then they remember, oh, we don't speak English in the house. So they have to speak Swahili. So sometimes, if you look into their faces, some of them don't know why, we speak a different language at home, and in school they learn a different language. The grown-ups, I had to explain to them how much our ancestors lost the education curriculum which we had, and then what we are using is different. That's why now we have to learn in a language other than ourselves. But the younger ones can't understand, because the language they try to understand and master in school is not taught at home. So there's that confusion around the language. Language becomes the center of knowledge. In Australia here, you don't speak English, they think that like you don't know anything. They begin to say, maybe you don't understand because you don't speak English. For my case, I went somewhere and with my wife, and we were seeking medication. The nurse started explaining the process for us to get the doctor attended to us. So we had the process and the documentation they wanted us to sign. We decided, no, we are not signing those documents. Only because we didn't speak much. The nurse thought we did not understand English. That's why we are saying no to signing the document. She had to bring someone else to explain further to us. The other person explained, we are just looking at him. And then we said, nah, we are not signing. If the doctor is not coming to attend other than just signing, it's okay. We can go back, or we can find this kind of services somewhere else. So the nurse came back and said, do you mind if we find an interpreter to explain to you how this procedure works? We think maybe you don't understand English. That's why you are reacting that way. That's when I got the opportunity. I just forgot to record the conversation. I told her, okay, if you want to look for an interpreter, I want you to bring an interpreter who will speak English to you. So Mia will be speaking in English, and the other interpreter will explain English to you, because I have realized you are the person who needs to understand English. Because now, this guy who is standing before you speaks 6 languages. So whatever you have explained, I can still repeat the same information in another language, in another language, and in another language. And then you call me, you say, I don't understand. Then I asked the lady, other than English, which other language can you repeat the same information? Can you repeat this same information in another language other than English? The lady said no. Okay, then I said, then you don't know the language. If you can only explain in English, that language you call English, there are French words in that language. There is usage. You say usage. If I say usage, will you understand? Oh, no. Yeah, but it's still a European language. And you are from Europe, right? She said, yes. Yeah, but if I say usage, I'm still using the language of your neighbor. Then I asked her, all these equipments are coming from China. People who manufacture these equipment don't speak in English. How do they manufacture? Your neighbors from Germany, they don't speak English. Why are we having some syringes here from Germany? I told her, look, we are not coming here to seek English operations. We are here to seek medical attention. And medical attention is not provided in a language. It's provided in a technical know-how. So we had an argument like 20 minutes, and the lady started apologizing. Said, don't underestimate people because of a language. A language, my children speak English better than you. They also speak Swahili.
Yes.
And then you think English can make us not to understand. We know what you are saying. And my wife is a nurse like you. So she knows whatever you are saying. So she didn't want to answer, because she's getting frustrated of your explanations. That's it. Call the doctor. If you don't call the doctor, I'll take my other measurement. I go somewhere else, and I'll mention your clinic. So what they did after that argument, they called the doctor, and then the doctor said, oh, yeah, signing is not compulsory. Because I told her, it's not compulsory for me to sign. It's my choice. If I don't choose to sign, you don't call people on me to explain for me to sign. Then the doctor came and attended us and said, you can go through all the requirements. If you feel like to sign, you can sign even the next day, or you can leave it. It depends on you. I say, yeah, I don't agree with every statement. There are few statements I agree with. I will tick those I agree with. Those I don't agree with, I leave them empty. I gave that example to say, like, language in education becomes the center of knowledge. There are people who are being employed because they speak a language very well. Some people like us, me, I normally try to speak English like an African. I don't want to borrow accent from anybody. Because if I borrow accent, I become that person. I don't become myself.